start by welcoming you guys. My name is Natalie Fritz, and I am the archivist and director of collections outreach and social media for the Clark County Historical Society. And tonight we are doing a special program that gives us a chance to highlight a wonderful new exhibit that the Springfield Links Incorporated have in the lobby of the Heritage Center right now, that looks back at 65 years of their history. It's a really wonderful exhibit. I've got a bit more slides of it that I'll share at the end to encourage people to come visit. But we have some members of the Links with us tonight to share a little bit about their past, their present, and their future. And I'm just going to turn it over to them to share their story. And then we'll open it up to encourage people to get in on the conversation and share and ask any questions that they may have. So I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. And we have Lula Cosby, Marcey Langford, and Valerie Moore with us tonight. And they're going to be sharing different pieces of the story of Links history here in Springfield and nationally. So thank you guys for joining us. And I'll let you guys get started with whoever is going first. I can spotlight you as we go, so you'll appear bigger on everybody's screen.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Springfield Heritage Center Museum, for inviting us to
and restricted for how long?
In our first podcast.
We can't hear you, Marcy. You muted.
Well,
after you said thank you, everything
I don't know
silent.
what happened. I didn't mute myself. Anyway, thank you, Natalie. Thank you for inviting the Springfield chapter of the Links to participate in our first podcast, with it being hosted by the Springfield Heritage Museum. We have loved the partnership we've developed through the years. It is just so wonderful. Not only is this Women's History Month, but this is also our 65th anniversary of our chapter being a part of the national and international chapter of the Links Incorporated. As we celebrate in this podcast, past, present, and future, we will have Link Lula Cosby will talk about the past. Valerie Moore will talk about the present, and I'll sum it up talking about links in the future. Now, women are really in the spotlight this month with Women's History Month, with the possible confirmation of a female judge that is African-American. We're an African-American organization with civic, educational, and historical and cultural goals for our community. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Lula Cosby.
Thank you, Madam President, and good evening, everyone. The Links Incorporated was established in 1946. Two friends, Margaret Roselle Hawkins and Sarah Strickland Scott in Philadelphia, decided to do something for their community. They were two young friends who then reached out and gathered in 16 others. That became the first chapter of the Links Incorporated. 10 years later, we had 25 chapters spread across the United States. The Springfield, Ohio chapter was the 25th chapter in our organization. Now, mind you, the Links are a invitation only organization. We're not a sorority. We're not a social club. We are a service organization, and we do work in the community to support its needs. And we've been doing this now for 65 years. Now, today, we have over 16,000 members worldwide. 292 chapters in all. We are professional women of African descent, and we love what we do. We are located in 42 states, the District of Columbia, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and the United Kingdom. When our chapter was established in 1956 by our first president, E. Lucille Ginn, spelled G-I-N-N, we started out with 16 members. Most of our members at the time, they were school teachers and professional women. And we have maintained that standard throughout all the years while recruiting members to our organization. E. Lucille Ginn, being our first president, was the reason why we eventually established a scholarship program with the Springfield Foundation in later years. We started out giving scholarships in 1959 in the amount of only $200. Since then, up until 2021, we have awarded over $134,000 in scholarships. What do we concentrate on? Well, we concentrate on in the programs that we put on in the Springfield City Schools. And by the way, we have partnered with almost every school in our community. We look at improving their social skills, basic etiquette. And by the way, years ago, we used to even have a debutante ball where we showcased young ladies, and they wore beautiful dresses, and they were escorted by young men who looked like and acted like gentlemen, with their pants fastened up around their waist and not below. So we're proud to have done some of those things. Going back to our national, we are broken up in 4 different categories. Our members come from the southern area of the United States, the eastern, the western, and the Springfield, Ohio chapter is in the central area of all of those. In 1975, we also partnered with Wittenberg, and we've done a lot of partnering with Wittenberg, Central State, and other, and also Clark State. But in 1975, it was the 6th year that we partnered with Wittenberg, and we put on a fine arts program with them. To support all of our work, we have a history of putting on all kinds of fundraisers. One of the main fundraisers that we are very proud of, we partnered with the Clark State Performing Arts Theater in the late 1990s. We brought the renowned recording artist, Mr. Lou Rawls, to Springfield, introduced him to a whole new audience. That performance was sponsored by the local Honda plant here in Marysville, Ohio. That was one of our major fundraisers. Following that, we brought in Little Anthony and the Imperials, the old, from the doo-wop ages. Some of you may not be old enough to remember them, but I do. And then the last major collaboration with Clark State Performing Arts Center was we did a 3-year stint with the Ebony Fashion Fair, which stems from Chicago, my hometown. And so they brought in international models who performed all over the United States and in Europe. They came here on three consecutive years and performed at the Coase Auditorium. So that's what we've used those opportunities to support all of the work that we do and have been doing in our community. Now I'm going to have our next member of our chapter, Valerie Moore, to share with you what we've done from this cutoff point.
Hello, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be here to speak with you about the Links Incorporated. Just to continue where Lula had stopped, in the year of 2000, we had a partnership with the Piney Woods boarding school, and we brought them in and did a series of conferences and concerts to the public. It was also part of our fundraising efforts. What I do want to mention before I really go into that is that we have several different facets in our organization, and all of our focus is a little bit different. We have an arts facet that focuses on presenting the performing arts to introducing that to young children. And that can be also things like painting or digital photography. And that is one of our facets. We also have services to youth, and that facet focuses on academics, career development, and mentoring youth. And right now our focus is on STEM and introducing young children to careers in the STEM industry. And we have several programs that are being performed or being exercised to introduce them to things like building a lava lamp or putting together a circuit. So we're very much a hands-on organization in teaching our youth. We also have our national trends facet. And our national trends looks at what's going on in our communities, what's going on in our nation, and does a drill down on bringing that into our community and introducing that to our students. Recently, our national trends focused on signing people up to vote and providing education to the community on their votes. And they are currently looking at legislation and that affects the Black community. In our partnership with Fulton School, the National Trends had the mayor come in and speak to the students to talk to them about politics. So we're trying to get that information out to our students at a very young age so that they can be involved. In addition to our national trends, we also have a facet called international trends. And what is happening internationally also affects us. And currently we're working, our international trends is working with the Haitian community as they are coming in, making sure that they have resources and making sure they understand how to navigate in this new place that they are, trying to help bridge their needs. And so that is another focus that we have. In addition to services to youth, our arts facet, national trends, and international trends, we also have a health and human services facet, which I'm very passionate about. And what we do know is that what was highlighted in this time of pandemic is that there are huge disparities in getting information out to the Black community. And so what we are doing is trying to get information out. We had partnered with Clark County Combined Health District and the St. John Missionary Church to make sure that we were able to get COVID shots, vaccines out to folks. So we're very proud of that effort. In addition, we are also working with the youth to introduce them to healthcare careers in our community and making sure that they understand that there are other careers that they can go into other than sports or teaching. We're just trying to give them that additional exposure. And so we are working with them. And in addition, we have also received a grant from the Baxter organization, and the grant is for Black Care. And it is to introduce our community about chronic disease that is affecting the Black community. So we are doing presentations to address that. And we do have a presentation that will be coming up on April the 2nd that will be a Zoom event that we will encourage everyone to attend. And it will talk about kidney disease, chronic kidney disease, preventing chronic kidney disease, and how to treat it if you should happen to have kidney disease. As currently as in the past, we have focused on providing service to our community in all of the events that we do. We have done poster presentations in the past where young artists could present a poster and they were able to win some of them received a $500 check. In the past, we have done that. We have worked with Hayward schools in the Young Gentlemen's Club and helping young men become young gentlemen, teaching them etiquette, how to respond in public. We have also had an organization where we looked at, we have had a presentation where we looked at girls in STEM. That was a partnership with Speedway. And we were able to introduce young girls into careers in STEM. So through the years, we have done multiple programs that have looked at empowering our youth and also empowering our women. Some of the past programs that are new members that are coming in, as people come into our organization, they are all charged with doing a community service for the community. And in the past, some of those community services have worked with Project Women. We had a program that was called Suits. And in that program, women were taught or given information about finances and credit scores, along with, dressing for success as they are entering into the workplace. So we are extremely proud of the work that we have done in the community and the work that we will continue to do in the community. We are also focused on fundraising, as Marcy had alluded to. And in the past and currently, a lot of our funds to support the work that we do in the community does come from our fundraising efforts. And we've done things like the fashion shows, we've done things like a gala, and recently we've done things like a first bingo, trying to increase our funding so that we can continue to do work in our community. We are now starting to look at receiving grants, and we have received a grant from Baxter for Black Care, and we've also received grant funding from the Springfield Foundation for our Links project. So we are continuing to work on developing partnerships and looking for sponsors to help us in the work that we are doing in the community. We very much understand that there is a lot to do, and that the way that we get that done is by having collaborations with folks. As Lula had pointed out, we do have several collaborations with the school systems. Our most recent one is with Fulton School and the work that we are doing with their after-school program. And that after-school program, all of the facets are participating to bring the best skills that they have to those students. And the students have been extremely receptive to have that attention for them. And so we are very excited about that program. And I will also say that we do have a purse bingo that we're doing to raise funds. This will be our 3rd annual, and we are excited about that. But again, we're really looking to do partnerships with people in the community as we move forward. If you are interested in all of the other things that we do in the community, because it is much more than I can cover in this brief time, but we have a social media page that you can look on the website. We also have Facebook, and we also have a Instagram account. I was just getting ready to finish this up, but I do want to point out a couple other things that we have that we are extremely proud of. And one of that, and that is our partnership that we have had with the Gammon House. And we have had that partnership for several years. And the Gammon House, if you are aware, is part of the Underground Railroad. And if you haven't been there, please do go there. I just want to give a plug out for the Gammon House because it is quite historical landmark, and Springfield is very proud to have that in our community. With the Gammon House, we also have what we call a positivity bench that sits outside the Gammon House. And when we put that positivity bench there, it really was, in our mind, it is a place where people can go and feel safe and be able to talk. And so that is located at the Gammon House. So if you're feeling stressed and feel like you just need a place to rest and you visit Gammon House, please take time to sit on the positivity bench. I do believe right now that's all the time that I have, but I will be available to answer questions for you later. Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie. Positivity bench is something I need right now because we've never done a podcast before, so this is a first for us. Hopefully you've felt something from the past. You got some knowledge from the past. You've got some knowledge for what we have done. I had to double check and make sure I hadn't muted myself again. The founders wanted to have friends work together to transform communities. That's our national mission statement, friends transforming communities. And as you see in the background from Valerie, we're friends linked. I'm always mess this up.
Linked in friendship, connected in service.
Yes, linked in
That is our
friendship,
motto.
connected in service. And so that you'll see the chain, and we definitely believe in that. You see that we are very busy. The Fulton School Project, currently, the Facets are working endlessly and tirelessly with the young men and the young women there, trying to cast a positive seed. You know, as we turn on our televisions right now, we see so much negativity. The news is negative. So the Links Incorporated, we're trying to show the people in our community that we care, that we want to make a difference, and that we will make a difference. Some of the other things that had been done is we've partnered with the other Link organizations with the tornado damage in various places, the damage in the Bahamas. Some of the children were at the school at Central State. We partnered and we sent packages to their family. We partnered to help in Haiti when they had their devastation. We partnered with Jamaica, Flint, Michigan project. So the funds that we raise are being used for things other than just scholarships. We definitely want to sow into our community and provide scholarships. As Lula has explained, we have over $100,000 in scholarships given out. But as we work towards the future, one of the things we want to do is partner with the community and develop greater partnerships and actually we want funding too. So that's always that thing. And for the rest of the story, you know, remember the guy that used to come on at news. Now for the rest of the story, there's national partnerships that our national organization uses or has worked with, such as AARP, Allied Financial, American Cancer Society, American Heart Association, American Red Cross, Colgate, Donate for Life, Dove, Dress for Success, the Heart Truth Campaign, Financial, March of Dimes, NAACP, National Cares Mentoring Movement, National Dental Association, National Medical Association, National Wildlife Federation. That one I gotta figure out what we can do with that one. National Organization for Black Law Enforcement Executives, Noble, National Society of Black Engineers, that's the NSBE, UNICEF, and the list goes on. If you know of it, if you're members of any of these organizations and you know that we could write a grant and work together, please let us know. As Valerie has alluded, we do have a website. You can contact, there's contact information on there where we can be contacted and we'll work with you. Currently, we're working on legislation, and there's a project called the Bail Project, and you will see some information out there where we want to help make a difference. And it's not just us, it's the national organization. The national organization realizes that with 16,000, almost 17,000 women throughout the United States and abroad, we have a voice, and we plan to make that voice known with various things that go on, especially right now, voters' rights. So you will see we're a nonpartisan organization, but we want people to know what their rights are. And so you will see us surge ahead. We've been involved in some of those things, so you will see it now. We want to encourage education and help those that may not have afforded the rights to be able to do various things, such as the arts. We'll be working on a project with the Art Museum for the young children, because not everybody's into the arts. Education, helping them pass the various things they need to pass and give them encouragement, say a positive word for them. Our program currently is called Sister Speaks, and we're dealing with women. Our focus is African-American women, because we're African-American association or chapter, but we're focusing on helping the women, whether it's help them provide education on childcare, because there's a huge infancy deaths. So you will see us coming forth with programs for that. Whether it's COVID, we played an instrumental part in that program, and we still need to. When you look at the percentages of those that are still not vaccinated, or they may not be following the proper protocol, because it was a pandemic, and it is a pandemic. I don't care what anybody says. I, like Valerie and like one of our physicians that's on this broadcast now, we're in healthcare. So we see the outcome of people not complying with what needs to be done. But at this time, I would like to open it up for questions. If anyone has any questions for us, please come forth.
President Marcey, before they start asking questions, I would ask Valerie, since she's in healthcare, to speak about our collaboration with the health fair here in Springfield.
Certainly, Link Lula. So we were, when the healthcare was first being formulated, we were collaborating partners with the NAACP, Dr. Niravetla, Heart Health Now, and bringing the health fair, which has now become known as the Minority Health Fair, together. Our first health fair was held at Fulton School, and it was a rich collaborative effort, and that has just continued to grow over the years. I believe it is now being hosted at the new one that will be the new one. I shouldn't call it the new one, but the health fair that will be happening this year is going to be on April the 30th at Fulton Elementary School. And one of our Link sisters, Mary, is still very much involved with that. I will also tell you, I am just so amazed and in awe of the gifts and the talents that the ladies in this organization have. Our Link, Gail Grant, who is a member of Gammon House, wrote a book that talks about the adventures, or the, I guess it is the adventures of a young African-American youth who was coming out of slavery, and she has also written a second book. So we are I'm very much in awe of the talents that our sisters have, and that they bring to the table, and that they share with us. And I think what we find is that by having that diversity of talent, we are able to do so much more in our community than we were able to do as an individual. And I think that as we look forward to our future, as our sister Link Marcey was sharing with you, we just see the impact growing with being able to provide help to and empower women. And if we can empower women, we know that we can also empower youth. And so we're very excited about that. We have are not trying to limit ourselves, as Link Lula said, and scholarships is a very big part of what we do. And we are very proud of the legacy that we have with that. But we also provide service throughout the community. And so our bandwidth is so much wider, and we're just watching and looking forward as we continue to have that growth.
One of the things we do plan to do in the future is we're planning a conference for women, and the conference may include, we were talking about including children too, some type of conference to empower them. It will be somewhat like our suits. One thing that has been a barrier was COVID. And our organization, you won't necessarily see us out as Links at the health fair, because for the past 2 years, our national president has come out with the mandate. We have a COVID committee that consists of doctors, and the doctors, one of the doctors is a doctor with the CDC. One of the doctors is a doctor at Johns Hopkins. It's about 8 people on this task force. And what they have said is we're not to meet in person unless it's only 6 to 5 people. So we haven't been out in the community like we'd like to be, because we're following the mandate our president has put forth. But we're doing what we can. So just know that we definitely care about our community. We care definitely about our women, but the whole family, because our program is called Sister Speaks, but most women it's broader than that. They have a family, whether it's their extended family, their personal family, or the family they came from. So that's something that you'll see us we plan to work toward in the future. I saw a question. I did see an Alice Bell asked suggested partnering with the Society of St. Vincent de Paul. And I do see where my Vice President, Link Donna, has responded to them, and that will be reached out to. I did see where she's put our website, the Springfield Links.com, and as well as the Instagram link. It's in the chat if you're interested in going to any of that. I just think it's really, really empowering to know that in 1946, these women had envisioned an organization that would respond to the needs and aspirations of the Black community. And that's what we're attempting to do. We're still doing that same mission. You know, I know a lot of us have been in all types of organization, but many times the mission statement changes. The mission statement is the same. So the things that we do is tireless and is selfless. And we love our community, and we just want to try to continue to make a difference. Any other questions?
Well, I just wanted to say, I mean, I didn't know, I mean, a lot about what you guys did. I know just from what we have here in the archives. I wanted to share what we have from your collection, because you guys are one of those really active, still active organizations in town that we're lucky enough to have your collection and grow it as you continue to grow and do more things. A lot of the collections that we have in our archives are organizations that aren't around anymore. It's rare for us to get a collection for an organization that's still out there actively doing things and always adding to your collection. So I wanted to share in the chat a link to the collection as it was. I think in 2015 was the last update we have on here, but I realized this isn't the most up-to-date one, because you guys gave us a lot of materials in 2020 and 2021, and we have since processed that. I guess I just forgot to put the right one up on the website. So the link that's in the chat there is our update, what we has as of 2015. So to hear what you guys are doing now and today, and you know, your plans for the future, it's good to know that your collection will continue to grow to document all the things that you've done and how you've changed, you know, to serve the needs of the community over time. So I think that's really great.
I'd like to acknowledge Lula Cosby and Doris Daniel and Gail Grant for all the tireless work they've done in putting together the archives of our history. It's not an easy job, and I know it's tireless, and maybe sometimes it seems like we don't appreciate it, but we certainly really do appreciate it.
I would like to add, thank you, President Marcey, for saying that. Another one of our projects is called Preserving Our Legacy. Through the years, over the past 7 or 8 years, we have selected some of our senior citizens from this community to interview them, capture their stories. We have recorded them, and also we have their stories in script. So far, we've collected 20 of those interviews. In the past, I think 2 years ago, we did have a laptop as part of our display there at the Heritage Museum, where the live interviews were continually being shown to people. And we had such a great turnout that even a gentleman from the Dayton Museum called and came to Springfield to see what we were doing. So that made our hearts, you know, flutter a little bit to have someone to recognize us and what we were doing. it really is a team effort, and we get these seniors who sit down and tell us these stories about when they were small children. Most of them grew up in Springfield. They talk about the segregation of the city and the cutoff point for the African American people. You didn't go past the railroad tracks, back in the years ago. But the glorious part of some of those interviews is not that cutoff, that bad part, but they told us about how the African American community was totally contained. They had all kinds of businesses. They had the barbershops, the grocery stores, the beauty shop, the physicians, you name it. Every business that a person would need to service their lifestyles was over in that southwest quadrant of the city. I'm not a native Springfielder, but I truly enjoyed being a part of that project and hearing those stories. All of the adults in that project are at least 82 to 95 years old. I'm sorry, 100, because Nettie's grandmother was one of those, and I believe she just hit, it was 100 or 101 on her last birthday. So these are seniors who shared with us all of their stories, how they were in the military, how they had to try for higher paying jobs and were denied for all types of unqualified reasons, but they survived. Their stories of survival and how they achieved, many of them achieved higher education, even when it seemed like the roadblocks in front of them would prevent them from doing it, but they found a way. They found a way. So it's called the Preserving Our Legacy. What are the end of that project? We're hoping to have all of those stories placed in a bound book and deliver a copy to each of the libraries in Springfield in Clark County, and eventually possibly have those in the schools for people to read and share. And so
will they be able to see any of those when they go to the Heritage Center?
We did not use the video this year because we wanted to celebrate the 65 years. That was our focus.
Okay.
But it will be coming back again.
Okay, great.
And I put a link in the chat that goes to the YouTube video of those interviews as well.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's wonderful.
And I mean, that's such a treasure, what you've created for the community to capture those stories, because I know that's something that we say here all the time. We should sit down and talk to that person. We should get their story. And I know there's so many missed opportunities where, you take for granted that they'll always be around to share those things with you. And I know we've missed a lot of opportunities. And every day I talk to people, they call in and just start telling me stories, and I say, quick, let me record you. I should get down what you're saying, because there's so much in our community stories that you only know from talking to people. They don't have it written down. They have it, up here. And you guys, I'm glad that you guys have, were able to pull some of that important information out, and that it's out there for people to, look back on.
Thank you. Before the hour gets too short, I would like to thank Casey and the whole staff at the center for inviting us into your world and allowing us to use our materials and showcase what we do. It's never did we dream that we would be able to have the entire lobby of the Heritage Center as our personal domain for 2 months every year. We do it for Black History Month in February. We tore that exhibit down and we changed it over to the Women's History Month, celebrating our 65th. So once again, and I know I'm stepping on my president's toes, but I just want to give you my personal thank you for inviting us into your space and allowing us to showcase what we do.
You didn't step on my toes. I might say that Lula is our platinum member. That's the highest honor you can reach as a link. So when you're a platinum and you have the knowledge that she has, and she was my sponsor coming into this organization, she can have the latitude that she needs. I give you respect.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I do actually have a few slides to show for the sake of the recording, to show people what is here in the lobby.
Yes, please
Let
do.
me switch over to my screen just 1 second. Get up to the right. So this is just a view of the lobby display from afar. This is not how we normally start this. We have been recording this. This will be shared later on our Facebook page and our YouTube, and we'll share it with the links as well, so you guys can share it. But this is a picture that you guys have in the exhibit of your founding members of the links. And I believe you're Lucille Ginn. Lucille Ginn is in the photo there. So that's a wonderful picture. And I love the setup, the detail in the exhibit is just so wonderful. I mean, it's a timeline of events and people and all of the different things and ways you've been involved in the community, all the different programs that you've done. I love all of the link spotlights on people that you have throughout. You guys, I went through and I took a picture of every single bit of this exhibit myself so that we could make sure we save it. I figured I probably should have contacted somebody. There might be a print copy that we could put somewhere, but it is a really wonderful exhibit of your history. And then we've got these highlights here of some of those people that you've talked to and their stories over here. So it's a really wonderfully detailed exhibit, and we're happy to be able to host it. So thank you for that. I love this piece of art here made out of looks like the recycled water bottles. That's really wonderful. And then you guys have pieces from your 50th anniversary and stuff on display. And then this is actually a link that takes them that you guys have in the exhibit that goes to that interview series.
There's a legacy.
Yes.
So,
Natalie?
yeah, Patty.
I just wanted to thank everyone. This has been very informative, a great presentation, and I'm looking forward to seeing the lobby. I volunteer down there, so I will already go down there tomorrow afternoon and take a look at it. But I guess my only question, which I think partially was addressed, is you said people are invited to join. So one of the current members has to recommend someone to be a member of the organization. And how big are you now as far as all the things you're doing?
We're 25 members. And yes, like I said, that Lula was my sponsor. So someone would have to sponsor because it's a friendship organization. So it has a lot to do with, you know, one of my friends and you know what they're doing and do they want to contribute? Because it's not organization you come into and you just sit and fold your hands and drink tea and crumpets. You got to work, you know, so sometimes that's a challenge for people because with our in-kind effort, we see it in the end. We're seeing children come back who come through the program. Like Link Lula said, we've kind of hit on all different types of schools. We even did a charter school at one time, and we've done the public schools. A lot of the things that we do come from relationships with people. So that's how we get in. due to, you know, if you had a school or something like that, or nursing home, or we focus more on the youth, but we don't leave anybody else out either if we can be of assistance and help if there's a need. Thank you for that question, Patty.
I have, well, I said, I have this last, but I just want to jump past this, just to, I'll turn this screen back off, so I can get out of my slides, but we have a program next week also, which highlights, recipes from local cookbooks in our archives and just stories of local foods. So we want to hear people's favorite recipes, things they love to bring to potlucks, the recipe that everyone's always asking you for, to hear about what you like from love from local restaurants, things that they have only there. A lot of the recipes we've been highlighting come from fundraising cookbooks that were put out by all sorts of different local organizations all throughout many decades here in Springfield and Clark County. So we've been sharing those every day of the month this year or this month, and then at the end of on the 30th we'll be having a virtual program to kind of talk about, did anyone try any of these crazy recipes? Do you remember recipes like that? So, and then our next in April we have the Crable Homestead will be opening to the public for the season through October. They're open April through October, the second Saturday and Sunday of every month from 1 to 5. So that's the house that's above the reservoir, 1820s. So we're going to have a virtual program about the history of the home the week before that on April 6th. And then it's open April 9th and 10th to the public. And then it'll be open every second Saturday and Sunday and through October with different activities every year. And then you guys had mentioned in there about Dr. Naravetla. He's going to do a virtual program for us on April 20th, talking about his book Salt Kills and just the dangers of salt. And I talked to Mary, helped set this up, your Link, Mary Moore, because it's a very timely and good for Minority Health Month. And after we've talked about all of the recipes that are in our archives that are just filled with salt, this will be a good thing to show people how you can live longer. So I'll stop sharing so we can go back to everybody seeing each other. But I know that a lot of people have come to see the exhibit this month. I've been down in the lobby when people have come in specifically to see it. So it's good to know that people are learning more, and it's so wonderfully put together. I think it's great to showcase your history that way with people and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Any other questions?
One last comment from my end is that for those who don't know, the Heritage Center is also the repository for our Links chapters archived documents and records. So we established that relationship about 10 years ago. And so we're very happy to have that also as a second collaboration. It's more like, it's not really collaborate, it's friendship, because the staff, they're so kind and helpful to us that it's like a bunch of friends getting together and sharing. So we just appreciate that opportunity to have a repository here in our community.
Well, we're happy to work with you guys.
But Natalie, on behalf of the Springfield, Ohio chapter of the Links, we definitely like to thank you for this outreach and collaboration. Hopefully we can continue on in the future. And if we can be of any assistance of anything, please let one of us know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you. And I thank everybody for joining tonight. And I'm happy to have this piece of history that we can record and share for the future. That hopefully will show up in a search many years from now, and someone says, I want to learn about the Springfield Links. This is a great resource that will tell them just about everything that they need to know. So yeah. So thank you guys so much for being part
Thank
of this.
you.
Thank you
Thank
for having
you.
us.
And good
Hope
night,
everybody
everybody.
has a wonderful night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.